Welcome, everyone. Angry Hacks podcast. It is Tuesday. We are almost in February, which means one thing. The Super Bowl is upon us. We haven't had football in over a week. Well, technically, good football in over a week, as maybe we'll touch on the Pro Bowl very slightly. We got a lot to talk about, a little mixed bag of sports tricks today. We'll talk tennis. We'll talk the NBA. We'll talk a little baseball. Back. And, of course, we'll leave off on the Super Bowl. Stan the Man, how we doing this evening?
Doing fantastic. Our boy Roger Federer with his Australian Open win is just nice and sweet.
Sweet as candy, baby. Michael Hall, how we feeling tonight?
Well, a little sleep deprived. I've been up since about 1 o'clock in the morning. We had a little snowstorm up here in the Northeast. So I was at work in that, as you guys know, I like to do. So a little sleepy, but no rest for the wicked. We're here.
Yeah, sleepy. Rye, we were just talking about that before we got on live here. But yeah, ours is a little different reason.
Yeah, now I feel bad after hearing about Mike being up since 1 in the morning. I'm like, all right, maybe I'm not tired anymore. Mike just gave me a boost of energy because I feel terrible that you woke up at 1 a.m. last night.
It's all good.
Yeah,
man. It's all good.
Yeah, we're tired because the kids are killing us, but that's another issue.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting my sleep. It's just you know how it goes.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, Rye, you said it. You said it. Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Roger, 20th Grand Slam title.
Roger that. Right. Roger that. Roger Federer has now his 20th Grand Slam title. And this new stat that we can add to is Roger Federer one of the greatest athletes of all time, top 5, whatever you want to say. One of the new stats that you can add to that have been played in the Open era history. He has now won 10% of them.
It's phenomenal.
He has won 10% of the majors in the Open era history. Unheard of.
That's insane.
And so he wins this one at 36 years old, pushing 37. Last year we said it would be amazing if he could win the U.S. Open at 36. Well, you know what? He didn't. But he comes back down under, comes and wins this thing, number 20 at 36. And
yeah, man.
So this is his 6th Australian Open. And what you said the other day was very interesting, and I want you to share that with the listeners here about what your thoughts was about the post-match press conference.
Who said that?
You did. Do you remember what you said? You think that it might be.
Oh yeah. You know what? I was really talking about this and just watching him after winning that and just listening to his post, which I love his post matches. He's really humble. He thanks everyone. He thanks the fans. He thanks his wife. He thanks his family. He thanks his coaches and all that stuff. He always gives praise to his opponents. We always said how great of a guy he is off the court as well. But just listening to him, he gets choked up, talking about it, and it just made me kind of think, is this the last time he steps foot as a player at the Australian Open? Is this it? Is this his last ride? Did he want to get that number 20 and then say, I'm going to ride off in the sunset? So it was just something that I thought of right away when he started getting choked up. And talking to the fans and thanking everybody. I don't know. I just, that is my feeling. And I think a lot of people are on board with me,
Yeah. I mean, you saying it, really brought it into my mind because I feel like the guy can play forever the way he's going. Like, obviously he's going to compete. I think he should take off the French again, like he did last year.
I think he will.
He will. Right. And unless he's like, you know what, I'm going to give it one more crack before I go. And I think that if he plays the French, you're correct in what you're thinking is this is his last year.
Yeah.
Because there's no other reason to play the French, I don't think.
No, you're right.
Unless he just wants unless he wants to play it one more time, knowing that it's going to be his last time, so he can say bye to the fans. Because he's that type of guy. Like, hey, let me play in France one more time. The fans that have supported me over the years, and then, but what he should do, what I want him to do is, rest for the French, come back for Wimbledon, and he'll be in Wimbledon again. He's going to be in the mix. Will he win? I don't know. But he'll definitely be in the mix. And the same thing at the U.S. Open if he makes this his last calendar year.
Well, you know what? And he will be in the mix no matter what, just because the competition right this second is a little watered down. Nadal, we don't know his status. He had to pull out of the Australian Open because I'm sure if the guy stayed healthy, we would have saw another Nadal-Federer rematch for the title. But, he's banged up. I think Djokovic is still not 100%. He came back as a 14 seed because he was hurt all last year. So he came back. He's hurt. Murray's hurt still. You got a lot of guys hurt. Another guy went. Who's the other guy another high seed who was just, who came back, we think came back a little too early because he's a little banged up. Nishikori's banged up. Raonic banged up. So the competition's very watered down right now for Roger. So this is a really good year for him to go out there and win a few more majors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible, the longevity, and we've talked about it so much, so I don't want to beat the dead horse, but in another final, probably if Nadal doesn't get hurt, it would probably be Federer Nadal, and I agree with you. And the thing is, the last 5 majors in men's tennis have been won by either Federer or Nadal, which is crazy because the 10 previous to that, they didn't win any of them.
I like how you say Nadal, by the way.
Well, you know me and my names, and sometimes I say.
I know. Mike, but, what do you think about this? What do you think about Roger Federer? I mean, I know you like him, but what do you think of his little run these last year and a half?
Well, like Stanley just said, with him and Nadal, because Rafa, I mean, how old is he now? He's 30.
He's probably 32, 33? Right? 31. 31. There you go.
Okay. So,
still that's old in tennis.
Right. I mean, so these guys to kind of, you forget about them for a while and they have a run like this kind of together, and Federer, I mean, it's incredible. And just you watch him play, if you watched a match of his from 15 years ago, it looks exactly the same as it does now. It really, really does. I mean, the flawless one-hand backhand and just the impeccable serving and just the complete control of certain points, most points. It's absolutely incredible. The way he returns, it's absolutely incredible. And you mentioned all the guys that are banged up. I mean, you say Stan, you kind of want him to rest at the French, but I mean, I know we have a while to the French here. Well, we have 4.5 to 5 months until the French Open, and the clay court season will be ramping up here soon. But I mean, saying Nadal misses the French, I mean, it's a long ways away. But I mean, him, Nadal not at the French, obviously makes it wide open. So, Federer, would definitely want to play in that one. I mean, if we're talking about his swan song, a final farewell tour here, he'd probably want to play it anyway, like you guys mentioned. But for some reason, this injury bug with these top guys sticks around, especially with the strong clay court guys. Federer's got to be licking his chops.
You know what, too?
Yeah, I mean, go Ryan.
Really quick with the injury stuff. A lot of these guys getting injured, they're all younger than Roger. A lot of them are in their mid-20s or so. Up and coming guys like Raonic and such. But these guys are getting injured a hell of a lot more than Roger ever did. The guy kept him. And Ryan, we talked about this on our earlier pod, one of those, our Roger Federer podcast. How, like you said, the longevity of Roger and how he keeps himself in such great shape. He's really rarely missed many many majors, let alone just regular, tournaments. It's amazing. And seeing a lot of these young guys go down often this past year and a half is very, very alarming. And it just skyrockets the pedigree of Roger Federer for me.
Well, like I said on that podcast, he has never retired from a match. Ever.
That's crazy.
Incredible.
That is incredible.
Like it is. I mean, I don't know if it's bananas. I don't know what it is, but whatever he's doing, he's doing.
Well, that's Nadal's fruit of choice, isn't
it? Yeah. That's why I said it. It is. But
banana?
The last 5 majors I said were won by Federer and Nadal. And then the one before that was by Wawrinka. So the last 6 have been won by guys that are older than 30.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of incredible that these old guys are taking these young guys to the woodshed, as Brad Gilbert likes to say.
No, you're right. You're right.
And sorry to cut you off, but you hate to. I mean, this injury bug or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's not good for tennis. We don't want to see it. I mean, all these guys not in the Australian. It sucks. It really does. But it makes you wonder. I don't know if it's the way these guys train nowadays, but for a guy like Federer at his age. I'm going to have a hard time getting out of bed tomorrow morning because I shoveled snow today. I mean, and this guy at 36 to just, run through these gauntlets of tennis tournaments at the highest level every single year is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. And this final with Cilic was another 5-set match for him.
Right. And a physical match. And you play Cilic, you're going to be some real physical rallies and physical points. And, he was able to do it.
And, the other thing, this is now, at 35 and 36 years old, over the last 12 months, he's won 3 majors.
It's awesome.
Bananas. That's bananas.
That is bananas. Now, all right, let's put this in perspective. Let's talk about this really quick. So we're talking about the French Open. Does he play? Does he not? Last year, he decided to not play, which was a good move. He wanted to get ready for Wimbledon, ended up winning Wimbledon. This year, Mike, like you said, what if Rafa's not in there? What if he's, hurt? All these other guys hurt. He could be licking his chops to get one more there. But does that hurt his chances Wimbledon? I mean, I think, well, I don't think, I'm pretty sure that he wants Wimbledon the most. Again, he wants Wimbledon again. That's his favorite. That is his number one. And that's his best tournament anyway. But that's the most prestigious one anyway. I love watching Wimbledon. I really do.
It's so unique. Everyone, all white, the lawn tennis, the grass court. And you guys know it's such a quick turnaround after the French, that's tough. That's really tough.
That's why I'm saying that. Like, right. What is the decision?
And that's why these guys do it. And that, that clay court tennis, it's such a different game. And, not to say Roger can't play on clay, but, he's not a dominant figure on the clay like a lot of guys are. It's a different kind of player that rules the roost there. So that mixed in with the quick turnaround, the age, and like you said, his desire for probably that last Wimbledon championship probably has a lot to do with him probably sitting out the French. If I had to bet, on it.
If I had to bet on it, gun to my head, he sits out the French. He plays, and then he plays Wimbledon, plays the U.S. Open. And to be honest, I think he does come back for the Australian next year. I think he's not done because I think he might be. I don't know. See, I'm really up in the air on this, especially after you mentioned this to me the other day, Ryan. I'm really up in the air. Like, is he the type of guy that's going to say, hey, this is my last year? Or is he the type of guy that say at the end of the U.S. Open, this was my last year. I'm done. Like, I don't know. I don't know what kind. He's such a gentleman. He could go any which way. He could go out Like Tim Duncan.
Right.
Like Tim Duncan was just like, okay, yeah, I'm done. That's it. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that he is going to be done. It was just watching him in that press conference. I've never seen him get emotional like that. I've seen him get emotional before, obviously, when you win, but to get emotional like that, the way he was, I don't know if you watched it. There was a couple of times where he couldn't really, spit out words. And it's just something that I thought of. Well, maybe, he went out on top at the Australian Open. This is his last time as a player here. I don't know. And I'm not saying it is, because I think he can probably play another couple years. Who the hell knows? The way he's going right now and the way he looks, and Mike, you mentioned it, the game just doesn't seem to have changed from him. It's crazy. And I don't know, man. And we had that episode way back in the summer about him being a top 5 athlete. And I don't know what he's still doing, man. And I'm sticking to my guns on that. And I'm still saying he is a top 5 athlete of all time. He's an incredible figure. He really is.
Yeah, I would second that, Ryan, as you know. But this Australian Open was fun. That it sucks with the times. You watch a little at night, you watch a little in the morning. You might wake up at 4 a.m. to watch some, see, Federer wins his 20th. But someone that seems like they've been around forever, and Caroline Wozniacki finally gets her first Grand Slam title. 27 years old, and this is her first one. It feels like she's been around 10 years. I don't know how long she's been around. I can't.
She could. Some of those girls start 16, 17 years old.
Right. So she's been around a long time. She's been number 1 before and hasn't won a major. But I think 2008 was when she started, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So she's been around 10 years, and she finally gets her first title, and good job to her, and awesome, beating the number 1 seed Halep in the final. Neither of them had won a major, so this was, someone was going to get it, and I'm just happy for her this year to get it done.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? I'm just thinking about this now, and I think you guys are on board. You know what would make tennis more exciting for us? You know what would make it more exciting for us?
An American
if we would get an American or two to just be a dominant force like we had with Sampras and Agassi.
Well, yeah, even if Sloane Stephens did that, it would get me more into it. She wins the U.S. Open last year and loses in the first round on Australia this year.
Yeah, I mean, we have our women are a little bit better, obviously, with the Williams sisters and Serena, but we all know our thoughts on those two. But I mean, I want a dominant male figure. I want one. And we have guys that are pretty good, but just peter out. Like John Isner. He's been in the top 10, top 20 all the time, but he doesn't have it. He's a one-dimensional type of tennis player, and it's just not going to work.
No, it's true, Rye. I mean, so not only did, Stevens loses round 1, I think Isner did, Sock did, all these guys did.
That was bad.
Jack's now in the top 10, dude. He's 8th.
Sock.
Would you ever think, if I said, hey, what's Jack Sock's ranking, would you ever say top 10?
No.
It doesn't feel like that.
No.
And Isner's 18. We actually have 3 guys in the top 20.
It's amazing.
Wow.
But it doesn't feel like that because of these dominant guys at the top that are older than dirt in Federer, Nadal, and then you have the Djokovic and Wawrinka and Murray and Cilic even. These guys are tough to get by, but still, it would be really nice if we had a guy that can crack this.
Yeah.
The last years with Query last year and this guy Tennis Sangren this year.
Tennis. It's been so long, It's been so long. I mean, when was the last American major winner?
Roddick.
It was Roddick, right? In 2003?
Yeah, it's too long.
15 years ago?
Yeah, Roddick at the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open.
Right. Did he beat Leighton Hewitt that year?
He beat your boy, Juan Carlos Ferraro.
Oh, Juan Carlos Ferraro. Why is he my boy?
You told us because when we went to the U.S. Open that time, you're like, "Oh, I love this guy. He's one of my favorites." And we sat with his family.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
one of those side courts.
I honestly don't remember saying he was one of my favorites, but I believe you. But I do remember sitting,
You even said there was some video game or something you used to play with. You used to be Juan Carlos.
Yes. Oh, that's why he's my guy. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Smash Court Tennis Pro Tournament 2.
Yes.
Great game for the old PlayStation 2. Really fun tennis game. You could choose from about like 8 different guys, and Juan Carlos Ferrero in his heyday was, I mean, if you were playing on the clay court, you had to be Ferrero. It was dominance. So anyway, back to the Americans. I mean, we've had so many guys that showed so much promise, going back to Blake and, even Marty Fish had that resurgence when he got a little older, and would play pretty well, but just could never do it. And we just haven't had a guy that we could, really get behind as American tennis fans. It's been such a long time.
Well, even before Roddick, do you know the last 2 Americans before that to win?
Well, Sampras.
Yes.
And
Agassi.
And now it's Sampras and Agassi. Now that to me feels like light years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it is light years ago.
I know, but Roddick feels like semi-recent, but it's still 15 years ago. Because in 03, Agassi won a major in 03. That same year, and Sampras 02. It was like they were playing at the same time, and Roddick could never break through again because of the, the guys we just mentioned. But it's incredible that we haven't had anybody else make it to a final in 15 years other than Roddick.
Especially when you think about the guys kind of in that Sampras Agassi group, Chang and Courier,
Marat.
It was good years for Americans. It really was.
Right. Obviously going back to McEnroe's a little further back, but I mean, American tennis, has a proud lineage. It really does. And it's disappointing. There's no other word for it. It's been disappointing for almost 2 decades.
On the men's side.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, let's hope that we can get something going this year with one of these guys. I mean, we have a guy in the top 10 now. Let's go. Let's do something.
Tube sock.
Good run by Tennis, by the way. Tennis Sangren.
Yeah,
good run.
Great showing. Good run.
Mike, we had a little fun with that a couple weeks ago with the podcast.
Tennis. I mean, the name is unbelievable.
Great.
I mean, we're gonna get baseball named Baseball. What are the chances you name your kid Tennis? I mean, did they name him Tennis thinking, "Hey, we're going to train this kid to be a tennis player"? I mean, I guess they must have.
Well, I remember when you first brought this guy up a while ago, and I looked him up, and apparently he was named after his grandfather. Okay, his father was named Tennis, but the guy didn't play tennis.
That's right.
So what the hell is going on here? I don't understand. Is it just a coincidence that, I'm named Tennis, maybe I'll pick up a tennis racket and see if I'm any good? Oh, I'm pretty good, Or, did his parents groom him? And I don't know. It's so weird. Tennis.
Yeah. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. But yeah, it was very good tennis. If you watched it in the Australian Open, I mean, like you said, Rye, it's very tough to watch with the times. I was able to watch a little here and there. Really early when I got up, getting ready for work, just threw it on. Late night, 9 o'clock, there would be a match on here, and then they would show some old matches on the Tennis Channel. So I checked that out a little bit. But it's tough to watch those. But now we got to wait a couple months. I think the French is in May, right? Usually in May. End of May or something like that.
Mid to the end of May.
Yeah. So we'll see what Raj does there. Does he take off to get ready for Wimbledon? I guess he's got to see what's the field going to be like. Is Nadal out? Is he in? A couple of months to chew on that. Ryan, I know you want to say, or does it even matter? Right. I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell. Ryan, I know you want to segue into something that's going on in the basketball world.
The trade deadline is February 8th, and it got off to a bang yesterday. Of the Clippers getting traded to Detroit. It's just, when I read it, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe Blake's going to be playing. He goes from LA to Detroit. No one wants to do that. But anyway, the Pistons get Blake Griffin with Willie Reed and Bryce Johnson, and the Clippers' return is okay. I think it's Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban, your boy, Rye.
Boban, boy.
A second-round pick. Now, you're thinking maybe this is not enough for a guy like Blake, but you know what? Blake just signed a contract. He has a huge contract coming.
Massive.
That's going to probably handcuff the Pistons from adding anybody else to him and Drummond on that roster. And this frees up the Clippers with a lot of space, and they're going to be the next team, I think, to make another deal at this deadline with Lou Williams, Avery Bradley now, DeAndre Jordan. Any one of these guys could be traded now. So, this is getting pretty hot and heavy. There was another trade today that almost went down with the Bulls and the Pelicans, where the Pelicans had Mirotic, and then he said no because he has some sort of bird rights clause in his contract where he can sign a deal this year unless the team is going to pick up his option for next year, and I guess the Pelicans weren't willing to do that. So that deal got nixed, which makes me think they're not going to trade Anthony Davis, Rye, which I know you've heard a ton about.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that the Celtics, my team, might pick him up. Now, that would scare the living daylights out of me with his injury history. It's like getting a guy like Blake Griffin, a guy that's hurt all the time, and the max contract. And if he does get hurt, you are just screwed. And if that happens to go down with the Celtics with Anthony Davis, the Celtics are going to have to give up a Jason Tatum or a Jaylen Brown. You can't give up both. Jaylen Brown's my favorite player on the Celtics. I don't think you can trade Jason Tatum because the upside is just so high.
He's incredible, that guy.
Well, so other names out there that might get traded this week, I said Lou Williams, Bradley, and Jordan, but Tyreek Evans I've heard linked to the Celtics. I've heard Kemba Walker. I've heard Kevin Love. I've heard Isaiah Thomas again. Not to the Celtics, but, out there. I've heard Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, Anthony Davis. There's just a lot out there right now, and a lot of stuff can happen in this week. And the last few years, the NBA deadline, where you wait for a guy to get taken, like a big star to get traded. I mean, in January, yesterday with Blake Griffin.
Yeah. What is your take? How many other big trades like the Griffin one you think will be made in this year? Do you think there's going to be many more, or is there going to be maybe one more? What do you think? What's your take on that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I think it's going to be one more.
Okay.
And I'll even tell you the guy who I think it's going to be.
Love it.
I don't know if he got hurt tonight, but this is weird, and it's Kevin Love.
Yeah, he did get hurt.
He did get hurt. Okay, so we'll see if this changes this because he's only played 5 minutes this evening. But anyway, Kevin Love and the Cavaliers and LeBron or Isaiah, there's a lot of tension going on here. There's been a lot of tension for years. Kevin Love is on the trade block every year. Mm-hmm. And I think, they traded Kyrie in the offseason. I think this is the time that they actually trade Kevin Love and bring something back while he's still something. He's going to bring someone good back to you. So whatever deal Love is in, they will get a good player back. I've heard CJ McCollum. I've heard guys like that. So whatever deal, so maybe two big guys, but one big trade. So Love, the main guy in the deal will be Love, but maybe the guy comes back as a big star too. But I don't think many big stars after that.
Sense. That's it. Yeah, no, that's interesting. So you think Anthony Davis is staying put?
I think Anthony Davis is staying put, and I think that the Mirotic deal today that didn't go through, that they're looking to try to add after Boogie went down, add to their team to make them better, and they're not going to trade Davis. Like, Davis is signed, so they have him already. Right. They think they have a chance at signing Boogie. I don't think they're trading Davis at all, because you know what? As much as they haven't fully gelled as a team, they are still. Who wants to play Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis in the playoffs? No one.
Nobody.
They're still 27-22. They're a solid team. They're a playoff team with those two guys. Maybe not anymore without Boogie, but that's a scary team. Like, if the Rockets, they say they play the Rockets in round 1. The Rockets are a 3-point heavy team. They rely on the 3-pointer, and Capella's really their only big guy that's going to be able to guard anything. So they could just dominate the paint. A lot of possessions, and Davis and Cousins both shoot at a high percentage, and that's Cousins isn't there anymore, so I can't even say it like that anymore. But I'm talking about the future here. You don't want to run into those Twin Towers in a playoff series because they could beat you.
It's tough to match up against that.
Well, now what do you think of the combo of Drummond and Griffin now?
Well, see, that's interesting. I love you asking that too, because my initial response was, this is two big guys. But what Detroit has really struggled with lately, they have Reggie Jackson's been out for a while. Now, Blake is a very, very good passer. And if I'm them, run like a point forward, like a Draymond Green, and you have to keep Drummond involved. He's been more of a, he's had more usage rate this year than he's ever had before. So you got to let Drummond have his takes too. But I think you make Griffin the main ball handler, or guy bringing the ball up the court until Reggie Jackson comes back. I'm not sure about how long his injury is, but I think you let Griffin handle the ball, and kind of like Cousins does. He's shooting a lot more threes, and I think Griffin is such a good passer that it would be kind of like a Ben Simmons type if you let him handle the ball a little more.
Interesting.
That's interesting. By the way, just a really side note. 2 minutes left in that Houston game. Eric Gordon, 0 FanDuel points.
Oh, I'm staring right at it.
What's going on here?
I mean, at least in the tournament I'm entered in, he's almost 50% owned, so everyone's feeling that. But
this is like my Bledsoe yesterday. What the hell's going on?
0.
Well, he's played 10 minutes. He's only attempted 2 shots.
You got 3 fouls?
No fouls.
What the hell is? I don't get it. I never get. This is why basketball bothers me.
I mean, I do have Eric Gordon taking the 0. I also have James Harden with 42 fantasy points.
So do I.
With a minute to go in the first half.
Although Russell Westbrook, not good. 29 points after 3. That's not good for him.
It's not good. It's as many as Steven Adams has. I mean,
yeah, that's just awful. Oh well.
Okay.
That's why we suck.
Hey, since we're on basketball, and Stan, let me ask you, we're talking trade deadline. Can I find a team on our planet Earth that would trade for Joakim Noah? Please. Joakim Noah.
You said his name like I would. That's awesome.
Joakim Noah.
There's only one way.
The corpse.
There's only one way that type of deal happens.
98% salary retained by the Knicks?
Well, no, because you can't necessarily do that. It's not baseball here. So the salaries would have to match. But you'd have to throw in Frankie Ntilikina or a first-round pick in order for someone to take Noah's contract.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's
or
not happening.
You swap it for just as bad of a contract. like Luol Deng from the Lakers or something like that. But the Lakers would never do that because Noah has more years on it, and that would handcuff them even more. So it's really
and that
tough.
doesn't really solve the Nick problem, but
right, it's really tough. You'd have to include a young guy, and the only young guy in their roster I think that would warrant anything would be Frankie Smokes.
Yeah, Frenchie,
first round pick, which you're not. I don't think you're going to do. I think you almost have to swallow this one.
Yeah, I mean, what
comes off the books?
What a shit show it's become. I mean, him and Hornacek getting into it. You know, this was the one signing where everybody knew it was horrible from the word go.
Yep.
And Phil Jackson did it anyway. I mean, one of the worst signings in recent memory for this team. It was damned from the get go, and it's horrible. This guy is just a waste, absolute waste.
Yeah, you're stuck with him. I mean, you are. I mean, it's ridiculous. 32 years old, has no knees, has no legs. Yeah. $17.7 million a year.
Averaging what the last few years? 6 points and 8 rebounds a game.
Oh, the last few, but you know what he's averaging this year?
Oh,
in 7 games, he's only averaged 1 point and 2 rebounds a game. And his 5
unbelievable
time in the 7 games he's played this year. 6 games last year. So for 46 and 7, 53 games so far in his New York Knicks career, and he's made about $33 million in that time.
Great job, Phil Jackson. You fucking schmuck.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
Maybe they'll bring back the amnesty clause.
Eric Gordon won't return Tuesday. 0 points.
Goose.
Are you kidding me?
Awesome.
Goose.
Yep. So there goes that. Harden 46 at half. So maybe he'll score like 100 to like balance it out.
Make up for it. Yeah. You'd hope.
I hope so.
You'd hope.
Oh boy. Any other NBA news you want to throw out there?
Not really. Just the craziest thing that's still being talked about and no one knows anything about it is this Markelle Fultz thing in Philadelphia. This guy is still not played since the first week of the year. Knows what's really wrong with him.
Incredible.
I listen. This is a guy that was the first pick in the draft, 19 years old. He apparently lost his jump shot and can't get it back. It almost reminds me of Chuck Knobloch.
I just thought of Chuck Knobloch. He's got the yips.
He's got the yips.
He's got the Steve Sachs yips.
Yips, the Chuck Knobloch yips. And they're still talking about, he's feeling discomfort in his right shoulder. And Brett Brown, the coach of the Sixers, it's my understanding there is still some discomfort from time to time.
Wow.
Get that shit taken care of.
I think that's part of recognizing that there is still some sort of erratic shooting. That it's not where it used to be. Well, no shit. But just let me tell you, let me praise Danny Ainge quick before we leave basketball. That pick for Jason Tatum and maybe the second pick of next year's draft. Because he has got the Lakers pick in that deal. It falls in between 2 and 5 next year. And if it doesn't, we get the Sacramento Kings pick the year after, which we know is going to be a lottery pick.
Listen,
great job.
It's a great deal, but it's no Joakim Noah.
Joakim,
Joakim, Corpse, whatever you want to
call him.
Him.
Joke.
Let's just call him
Joke
Corpse.
Noah.
Let's call him Corpse.
Oh man,
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Hey guys, just I know we don't have to spend too much time on it, but we haven't talked about it much. Major League Baseball feels like it's going through like a cold spell. I'm calling it the cold stove, not the hot stove. I know you want to get to a couple of moves that were made, but I don't know. For some reason, years past around this time and even a little bit before, that's when it really started heating up. Some big moves being made, and it's feeling kind of stale. It's like a stale air out there. I mean, Mike, you and your Yankees don't really have to make another move after the monster move you made. I know you do, but you really don't because I mean,
I would argue we don't. I would argue we don't have.
Okay, that's fine. And then because that was just an absolute fire of a move, obviously. So, but I don't know. It's just it feels very cold. There's still some pretty big names out there. Rye, a couple of guys who got picked up, two big names got picked up by the same team. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, I mean, the Milwaukee Brewers out there making moves. First, they deal for Christian Yelich from the Marlins. Great pickup, good young dude. And then the next day or 2 days later, they signed for 5 years Lorenzo Cain. So they just revamped their whole outfield in 2 days. Not afraid to spend some money. This is a team that was 10 games over 500 this year. This team was pretty good this year. People forget this about the Brewers. Yeah. And now they had Yelich and Cain and Ryan Braun, who, obviously I hate his guts, said he's willing to move to first base, which then enables them to play their best bats and have this better lineup out there, with Yelich, Yelich and Cain in the outfield and moving Braun to first. They can play Broxton out there, which is a nice speed guy. They have a lot of options now if this happens. And I got to say, it's a good move. They're good moves here. And today they met with Darvish.
Did they really?
So, or maybe offered him a contract, I should say.
Oh, wow.
I'll clarify in a minute. But they did do something with Darvish today.
Darvish.
So, good moves by the Brewers. Surprising. Like it really surprised me, but you know what? And then I realized, wait, this team was pretty good this year. They're making a run for it. They also signed Matt Albers to a 2-year, $5 million contract for last year, and I can't believe he only got $2.5 million a year, because this guy's coming off a year, where middle relief is hard to get. A year where he had 61 innings pitched. And he had a 1.62 ERA. Ks in the 61 innings, a 0.85 whip. This guy had a really good year, and they basically got him for nothing. So this team's out there making moves. I think they brought back Yovani Gallardo, who knows, he's been bad for the last few years, but he was always good there. So maybe a little return of, going back home. Maybe he does something. Just, hats off to the Brewers for, trying to get things done. While everyone else is sleeping, they're getting things done.
Yeah, that Yelich is, I love this kid. He is, to me, under the radar. He's an underrated player to me. I don't think people realize how good he is. This kid's won a Gold Glove. He's won a Silver Slugger in the outfield, which is not easy to do, all before his age 25 season. He's a career 290 hitter, averaging about, 20 steals a year. OPS 800 for his career. This kid is a player. The Brewers gave up a lot. Their top prospect, I forget his name, but
Princeton.
Yeah, up there in the rankings for sure. But I still think it's a good deal. Because I think Yelich is better than people want to admit. He doesn't jump out at you. It's not the sexiest name, but I think in a few years it will be. Kid's Mike, really, really good. And, Cain.
I was just going to say, he's still.
Right. This is his age 26 season. And I think this kid's just getting started. He's good in the outfield. He can run. He's really a 5-tool player. So yeah, I'm on board with you. I think the Brewers win this big time. But man, the guys that are still out there, it's weird. Nunzi, like you said, but by this time, we're usually cleaning up the fireworks. It's like they haven't even gone off yet. It's really, really strange. It almost feels like an NFL free agency where teams are waiting for the prices to come down. After that mini first wave, like in NFL, it's not explosions right away. You get the few guys, it calms down, prices come down, and teams start making the moves. But this is, we're a few months in here. Jake Arrieta, even like a guy like Jonathan Lucroy, guys I would expect to be signed by now. Hosmer, JD Martinez with this weird kind of stalemate with Boston. Who JD Martinez, thinks he's Willie Mays apparently. Just signed the fucking deal already. But yeah, really, really weird. It's been a cool stove. And the Brewers are cooking. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, today it comes out they're still very much in the mix for Yu Darvish. So I don't know if they offered him a deal, but apparently they're still in the market for him because nobody else is. Nobody else. I heard like Minnesota, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like, where is this coming from?
Milwaukee, they've shown interest in Arrieta. That they're not done. And if they pull off a move for an Arrieta or a Darvish, they're gonna win this winter by a fucking landslide. The Brewers.
I know.
The Brewers.
Where is
Bob Uecker right now? Where's the Uke?
But listen, this cold stove rye has to make you think that this gives the Mets a chance to at least add something else.
Oh, it does. I mean, I think this only helps them, to be honest with you. Especially if they go after a guy like Moustakas, the price is probably gonna have to come down because we do need a third baseman and, more importantly, a second baseman. The second basemen that I see that they're looking at, couple free agents and one through a trade, I'm not excited about. I'll be honest with you. I think it's like the trade one is the Harrison. Right. Andrew Harrison. You got like Eduardo Nunez is on there. What were the other ones? What are some of the other ones? Kick them off for me.
Well, Neil Walker's a free agent.
Neil Walker, I don't want him again.
And Todd Frazier.
And Todd Frazier. It's not exciting, but I guess if we can get him at the right price, I guess it's an improvement because there's really nobody there right now.
Right, it's an upgrade. And the thing is we signed Reyes the other day, brought him back, 1 year, $2 million, exactly what we said on the pod a few weeks ago is what we'd be willing to spend on him. And he's coming back, and they actually said, utility guy, that they still plan on adding a second baseman.
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens here.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the Moustakas thing is interesting too, because I mean, it seems like there's only a handful of teams that are really going after him or just looking at him. And I kept reading that, it's taking so long that he might sign a 1-year deal somewhere. But if he does sign a 1-year deal, most likely he's going back to Kansas City.
Right.
So it's an interesting thing. And I know, would you give him a 3-year deal, Ryan? I know you love that 3-year deal. Do you like that for a guy like Moustakas?
Well, see, the issue is I don't like Moustakas.
Okay.
Tough for me. I would rather the Mets spend, and this guy would cost less money, I feel. You make that deal for the Harrison. You play Harrison at second, Cabrera at third, Reyes is your utility guy, and you spend your money on Jonathan Lucroy.
I like that. I do like that.
Because that's been our issue. Darno has not done it yet, and I don't know if he ever will.
Hair.
I don't know if he'll ever do it. And Lucroy's coming off a bad year where I think that he won't command that much money.
No, he'll come at a discount.
He'll come at a discount, and I think we take a chance on him. And if it doesn't work, I'll still like the move that we took the chance.
By the way, side note, this is kind of stupid, but I'm looking at my pencil sharpener over here that I've had since like freshman year of college, and it looks like a butthole. And I don't know why I've never noticed it before. Just looks like a butthole. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's quite interesing. Anyway, that was just a little sidebar.
Sharpen something.
Had nothing to do with Major League Baseball.
Sharpen something right now. I want to hear it.
So, anyway, Rye, we need another bullpen arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take 20 of them, and if 2 stick, we're good. But you mentioned bullpen arm, and I'm so happy you did, because this past week, the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we've all heard the names. One of those names is Trevor Hoffman, and what that says to me, Hall of Famer or not, and I could go both ways. If Mariano Rivera does not get 100% of the vote, no one ever has, but this guy got in his first year, right? This is his first year. Am I wrong there?
I'd have to look it up. It can't be his first year. You need 5 years, right, before you're eligible?
No, yeah, yes. But it's his first year of eligibility, I'm saying.
I'd have to look it up. I mean, he retired in 2010. So, I mean, I guess his first year of eligibility, I guess, would be 15 or 16, but...
Okay. But I'm still, like, if he gets in, I think that Mariano Rivera has to get in with, like, 99%, 100% of the vote. If this guy's getting in that quickly. I don't know. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, but it's not going to happen, because the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's like a country club of like really just stuffy old men who have stupid rules. Like you can't put ice in your iced tea after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You just certain things you can't do. It's the dumbest. The way they run it's so stupid. They have stupid, archaic, unwritten rules, if you will. Don't vote guys in their first ballot, the first time. All this stupid shit, and they never fix it. No one's ever held accountable for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if something stupid. I mean, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but there'll be guys who won't vote for him. There will be.
Yeah.
Mariano.
Yeah. Hoffman fell 5 votes short last year. I was on the ballot last year, but still, I was still surprised about how much more. And then I don't love Billy Wagner, but I've seen the argument for Billy Wagner and Hoffman. If you put their numbers side by side, there is one category that Hoffman, and that's saves. But every pitching category, Wagner like dominates.
Hoffman. ERA too, right?
All of them. Yeah, it's crazy.
I saw that. I saw that graphic.
Yeah, because Hoffman. Remember, I mean, he wasn't your prototypical closer. I mean,
right.
He really wasn't. I mean, you had guys. I mean, Mariano. Mariano threw kind of hard, but he wasn't really a flamethrower either. But Mariano was on a different planet. But Hoffman, I mean, yeah, he had his. He hit his 600 saves, right? He barely hit 600. But that's in an 18-year career. I mean, we all the friend of the show, Jason Crudy, likes to call that a compiler, which I don't always agree with. But in this case, maybe I do. I mean, 600 saves is a lot. And Trevor Hoffman is a very good pitcher. I mean, and I'm looking at his numbers right now. He led the league in saves twice, but dominant, I'm not so sure. And like you said, Stan, you can go both ways with Hoffman. I totally agree. Because 600's a lot, but when you break it down and you average, it's 39 per season. Is that dominant? Maybe, maybe not. So, yeah, I don't know. Hoffman's a weird one. I mean, good for him. Congratulations. I mean, he was a very, very good closer. He's one of the best. But did he dominate the sport? I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those tough calls, but like you said, congratulations to Hoffman and to Jim Tomei and Vladimir Guerrero and our
Larry.
Yeah, our nemesis, right? I know. But you know what? You got to respect the guy. The guy was a very, very good baseball player, and he was a switch hitter.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, another little sidebar, guys, talking about Kevin Love, broken hand, out 6 to 8 weeks. Dude, there's like 5-6 injuries that happened today. There's been that's something we got to talk about, guys. The injuries in the NBA lately. It's been like crazy. I don't know about you. It's been crazy. Even just little ones.
Well, following up, this NFL season, we talked about the tennis.
Oh man.
NBA. I mean, maybe
guys training too hard. What's going on?
I'll go through the hockey injuries maybe in a few days, but it seems like it's no sport.
Oh yeah, we know our Rangers and how decimated they are.
Right, and I'm sure every team is dealing with that. I mean, it's just
crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Oh, yep, 6 to 8 weeks, Rye. Gone.
Well, maybe that prevents that trade from happening now. It definitely hurts his value.
Yeah, it's just amazing, though. It's quite amazing. But I'm hoping this Thunder Wizards game goes to overtime. By the way, just to let you know.
I was just thinking that Nuns Westbrook's coming on here. 90. He's coming on, but he still needs some work to even come close to value. But overtime would definitely help.
It would.
How about triple overtime? How about triple OT?
Just one more thing on the Cavs. They're in such disarray that I would not be surprised if another player on the team thinks that he faked the injury. And comes out and talks to a reporter. Yeah, Kevin, he's probably fine. He's just messing with the team.
It's definitely gonna be J.R. Smith.
Good locker room there in Cleveland.
Hey, Rye, you got to be loving what's going on in Cleveland too, man. I mean, your team looks like, and it is the best team in the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do love it. Cleveland, I'm I'm worried about them, but not as much as I'm worried about Toronto. Toronto's 1.5 behind us, and they're playing very well. Although every time I take freaking DeMar DeRozan, he sucks big rhinoceros dick. But
Rhino dick.
They could. They're right behind us. So hold them off. Let's get this home court for the playoffs. We got we're already halfway through the season. The Celtics played 51 games. Let's go. I mean, I'm very anxious and curious to see what happens this week and with the trade deadline, and then what happens thereafter.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a name out to you guys, and then you can give your thoughts. Tiger Woods,
the Bionic Man.
Bionic Man. My word would be without getting a boner. He's back. Now, he's played in 2 events this year. He is now -11. He's 11 strokes under par for the year. He finished 23rd at the Farmers Insurance Open this year at Torrey Pines.
Farmers.
He is now 1-for-1 in cuts made. He made a cut for the first time. Played golf on a weekend. And I have to say I am super amped up and excited. It's good for the sport. And I really hope that the biggest news, it wasn't his finish. It was what he said after. And he says, I feel great. I'm ready to go.
Right. That is the most important thing. It's how he feels. We know he's good at golf. That'll come, but he's got to stay healthy. I think, it's been the only problem is just lack of reps and lack of playing and lack of healthy joints and knees and hips and backs and all the shit he's had in his career. But I think he's gotten to the point where he realized what works, what doesn't. He wanted to be a bodybuilder there for a time in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, in the mid 2000s, and he wanted to be the strongest man to ever play golf, and it worked. And then he broke down, and he's had to build his way back with multitude of surgeries and procedures, and now he's got robotic joints and whatever he's got going on, but yeah, he's back, and I agree. It's good for the sport. I root for the guy. He's not my favorite person, but when watching him play golf, growing up with him as a golf fan, it was special to watch the guy. So I always have a soft spot for Tiger, and I always root for
him. Is that going to OT, Rye?
No, stupid Carmelo missed a shot to tie the game, and they got a defensive rebound. So it looks like the Wizards are going to win.
Wow, Carmelo missed the last shot, huh? Where have you seen that before?
Why is Carmelo taking
game ever?
Dude, Rustbrook. I just said Rustbrook.
West Rustbrook.
Rustbrook. Why does it, dude? All he needs to do is just flash down the middle and just dunk it or something. I mean, you can't stop him.
Because Carmelo would whine and bitch and cry that he didn't get the ball.
And then if he gets double and triple team, throw it to George or something. Screw Carmelo. I mean, seriously. Harden's got 61.
Stay mellow.
We missed out tonight not taking Cantor or the Knicks. You see his stat line of the night?
Unbelievable. I know. He's got 20 rebounds almost, right?
Wow.
16 points, 18 boards, 5 assists, and 2 blocks.
That's filling it up. That's filling it up.
Just right back on you. This is just hot off the press here about Joaquin, boss, whatever you want to say. He remains away from the team amid a growing disconnect between head coach and him and head coach Jeff Hornacek. Hornacek said on Monday that Noah might return for Friday's game of Milwaukee. Who gives a shit? There is a growing sense that the 33-year-old center might not be back with the club before the February trade deadline, if at all, ever. Noah's recent with Hornacek were bad enough to lead to his leaving the team, and it stands to reason that the Knicks might not want Noah back around a club that is young and trying to build a positive culture.
Right. And you know what? And I was remiss in really making my point when I brought him up before. It's like the Knicks were finally starting to move in a positive direction, right? Everything, the right moves are being made. We're keeping draft picks. You kind of like a lot of the young guys. And then this albatross, this corpse, just hangs around and just, weighs everything down. It's the Nick way, man. It's just, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right. We got a big game coming up this Sunday.
What's that? The Pro Bowl?
What is it called?
Oh, they already played that.
Croquet? The Croquet Championships?
I'll be tuned in.
No, that would be the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. You mean Patriots Week 19 every year?
The game that the first Super Bowl in many years that I really I'm going to watch, but I'm going to be really pissed off watching it. I have to root wholeheartedly for the New England freaking Patriots, and it pisses me off.
As do I, my man. As do I.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking about the game though. Let's just talk about the game a little bit. I mean, I think the overwhelming edge needs to go to the Patriots. I think just because of that experience factor, the Belichick Brady factor. I think they have to have the edge, obviously. But I'm a little nervous and I'm a little scared that this stupid Eagles team run by Nick Foles could pull a New York Giants upset. They could.
I hope not.
I hope not either, dude. But I can see if it happened, I wouldn't be shocked.
It could.
By the way, But before we I keep interrupting, but Carmelo took the last 3 shots, by the way, and missed them all.
When have you seen that?
Like, what is going on?
You guys ever watch?
Now they're down by like 6.
You guys ever watch a Knick game last 6 years?
I know, that's it. And there goes the thunder streak, but whatever. Anyway, back to the game, boys. Back to the game. If you break down like position by position, where do the Eagles come out on top? What position do you think they come out on top?
Well, maybe not position, but I think they can win the line of scrimmage, which is massive, obviously. I mean, I thought the Jaguars had the right guys up front to knock off the Patriots. They could have. You might even say they should have. And I think the Eagles are built the same way. I mean, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Long, the guys they rotate in on that front are very good. And the Patriot offensive line isn't great. Now, Belichick and Brady, of course, know this, and that's the great equalizer. They know how to work around these things. I mean, they'll have a plan to deal with that. But Jim Schwartz knows what the hell he's doing. I always killed the guy as a head coach. He's terrible, but this guy can coach defense. And he's coached up this defense very, very well all year. I think the Eagles can win this game, to be honest with you. They'll have to run the ball, obviously, but I think they can. Foles, he's had quite a run here. I mean, he torched the best defense in football 2 weeks ago, which was crazy.
Yeah, amazing.
Now he gets to go to their stadium, that same team stadium, and see if he can move the ball against Belichick's defense, Patricia's defense, which I think he can. Right, and if they're able to run the ball, I mean, it's a simple recipe. We all know it. You run the ball well, it opens up the pass game a little bit to do enough to move the ball. Honestly, I think the Eagles will have a lead in this game in the second half. And, it's just going to be, can Tom Brady make another fucking comeback? And we'll see if he can. I really think it's going to come down to that.
Yeah.
I'll answer. He can. And he will. And I
probably.
really see it going. I just think that the Patriots are, what are they 4.5 point favorites here?
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be kind of right there, but I think the Patriots win the game down. I'm thinking by a touchdown, and I just think that you can't ever rule out Brady and Belichick. And Belichick will take out the best part of the Eagles offense, which I don't know what that is. But whatever it is, he'll find it, whether it's the run game.
What's ever clicking.
He will take whatever's clicking. He'll take it away.
Yeah,
and I just
good point.
I don't see Eagles, as much as the Patriots D hasn't been the greatest, I don't see the Eagles scoring that much. I just don't. I think it's going to be Elliott that gets, that might keep them in the game, but I don't see them getting into the end zone very often.
Well, you're right about the defense, right? It was a defense that started out the year very poorly, giving up big plays, just getting torched in the secondary. And, they made some adjustments and they played well the rest of the season. And it was more of a bend, don't break type of defense. They'd give up their yards, but they wouldn't give up the points, like you said. And maybe that's where the Eagles will struggle, is scoring the points. And it's going to be interesting. You got two teams that really don't have a great running game. Both teams don't have a great running game. I mean, the Patriots run game is quite different. They do a lot of those little screen dump offs. They have those type of players. And then you have like more of a power run game with the Eagles with Ajayi and Blunt. So it's not, they both don't have a dominant run game, which is interesting. So if I were to give the edge, it's got to be with the Patriots and their passing attack. And if we've seen it, and especially with a guy named Rob Gronkowski who can just take over a game, because really nobody can cover the guy one-on-one unless he gets injured and knocked out like he did last game. But you get guys like that and guys that have come up really big in the playoffs, like an Amendola or like a James White. I mean, these guys, they just show up in the playoffs. Isn't it amazing how these guys just show up in the playoffs? Haven't done much all year, and then they come playoff time, they just it's crazy because if I feel like the Patriots are the only team in football that can bring guys out of the grave to play in the playoffs. It's amazing. Like,
I mean,
like Mike, what did James White do all regular season? What did he do? Not much.
Nothing. You forgot he was on the team. I mean,
exactly.
They talk about the Patriot way and the way that, you know, they run the ship and this and that and stay mum to the media. And the real Patriot way is, like you said, just these like a Joakim Noah corpse, just, you know, resurrected. Resurrected when for the big games. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I think a big key, you mentioned the run games, Nuns. They are similar in the fact that I don't think either team really hangs their hat on it. The Patriots obviously, you know, use their run game to just kind of supplement the pass game. You know, their pass sets up their run rather, you know, the other way around, where I think the Eagles need to do it the other way around. The Eagles need to establish the run, I think. But we thought that last week, and Foles torched the Minnesota Vikings. Torched them. So what's to say he can't torch the Patriots? Yeah. Honestly. I mean, he had a perfect passer rating against the best defense in the league.
Although the week before he did not, he looked really bad against the Falcons.
He did, and it's Nick Foles. I understand that. But that was a hell of a performance. It really was. So you saw what he can do. I mean, I think that's the important thing. I mean, as a team like an underdog like the Eagles are, it's not about the bad things. You got nothing to lose. It's about your ceiling, right? You got to play to your ceiling. And Nick Foles' ceiling is, I mean, it's pretty high. And Philly, the way this playoff has gone, it's been really weird. They were home underdogs twice. They really embraced the role. But to me, they still didn't feel like underdogs. I said it in every podcast we did through the playoffs. I didn't think they should have been underdogs. I picked them every week. But this is the first week where they really are underdogs. They're not at home. They're playing the mighty Patriots. So we'll see how they handle this now. They've loved this. They've absolutely loved this, and it's worked for them. They've taken this underdog role and they've ran with it. But now you really are underdogs. Like? Right? Exactly.
Yeah, who's that sound like?
Exactly.
I hate to say it. I really do, because I don't want to compare my team with this freaking.
No, but don't feel too bad, because I think it's a little different in the fact that the Giants weren't the number one seed in the NFC those years. The Eagles were. They're the numbers. These are the two number one seeds in the Super Bowl, but it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And now the Eagles are finally, I mean, they've been, according to Vegas, underdogs for the third straight game, but I think, to me, they're finally dogs. So we'll see how they handle that.
Hot diggity dogs.
Corn dogs.
That's amazing. All right, so guys, if we were to the spread right now is -4.5, going the Patriots' way. Let's make a pick through the spread here. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's see what we got. What do we want to go with? Rye, why don't you go first?
Well, I said I think the Pats win this game by around down to 10 points. So I'm gonna go, let's say, 21-13.
Ooh, kind of low scoring. Okay. What about you, Mike? What do you got?
Eagles cover. Eagles win outright. 31-25. I'm writing that.
I've been hating you. I've been hating you with your picks. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, listen, I've been on the Eagles. Listen, I don't have as much disdain for them as you guys do, but you guys know I do not like the Philadelphia Eagles at all. But I am going to be rooting for them. I can't believe it, but I cannot root for Tom Brady. I'm lucky it's not the Vikings. If it was the Vikings against the Patriots, I would already have a Tom Brady jersey. I'd be wearing it right now, and I would be feeling how you guys are feeling. But
yeah,
I don't really have a dog. I definitely don't have a dog in the fight, but I don't have a dog I hate, loathe. So Eagles.
Yep, and
off topic. James Harden entering the fourth quarter has over 73 FanDuel points.
Let's get 100. Make up for Gordon's goose egg.
Yeah, I'm I'm in the money right now with Gordon 0. By the way,
I just think I would too, but I haven't checked yet. I'll check when we're done here.
Yeah, we'll check it out. But my pick. We're stuck in the between a rock and a hard place. We really are, Ryan. You know it. We got the Patriots, who we do not like at all. And then we got the Eagles, who we just absolutely loathe down to our core. So it's kind of a pick 'em, but it's easier to root for the Patriots in a few ways. One, I can't root for the Eagles. It's just never going to happen. It can't happen. I'd be ashamed of myself. And two, this could just cement the fact that no one can beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl other than Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants.
Yes.
Twice.
Amen.
So I'm going to go on those facts. But game-wise, I think it is going to be a close game. But I think the Patriots are just going to be too much. They're too experienced in this type of game. They're going to cover, and they're going to win the game by 7 points. It's going to be 27-20, New England Patriots. So that's where I'm going. That's where we all went. I'll be on. Well, no, I won't be honest with you, but I'll be watching the game. Ryan, I'm with you. I'll watch the game, but I won't be happy about it. It is what it is. It's Super Bowl. It's a nice little time. I'm gonna miss the old bagel hero, though. I wish we can do that again.
I wish too.
Super Bowl staple.
The best days ever.
I hope the commercials are good because that might make up for this.
They've been terrible the last couple years.
Terrible.
Hey, no Budweiser Clydesdales this year. They're not in it.
I could do without that.
We need a solid Doritos commercial or something.
Yeah, something really funny.
They usually come out with some funny ones. Yeah,
the satin sheets.
It's been stale.
I know what's going to happen. It's going to be nothing funny, and then they're going to start throwing these political commercials out there. I may turn the shit off.
I can't deal with that. I
may turn the shit off
because they were doing that at the Grammys again too. Like I couldn't. I can't. Not like I was watching the Grammys. But I heard about it that a lot of people were getting political, and I can't deal with that.
Like, fucking enough.
It's never going to be enough, Mike. This is going to go on forever.
I don't care.
I know. I don't know. a lot of good things coming up, boys. A lot of good things coming up. Once football season's over, though, we can rest and we can think and start to plan out our year for baseball. It's beautiful. I mean, I know we're all already thinking about it because our teams are out, but it just once football's over, boom, that's it. And we got March Madness, which is fun too. Pitches and catches. March Madness is a good time. Home stretch for NBA and the NHL, Rye. So that'll be fun. It'll be good times. Rye, you got any last words before we head out?
Nope. Just good job, Roger Federer. Congrats on your 20th Grand Slam title.
The man, the myth, the legend. Michael Hall, let's what are we doing here? What do we got?
I know I was just I thought about this today in semi preparation of a possible podcast that we're doing right now. I know we haven't done the FanDuel funny faces in a while, but I was putting together my hockey line for tonight, and Jakub Voracek on the Flyers is the ugliest human being on earth.
The Muppet, right?
The Muppet. And somehow, like, I guess I haven't seen his face in a while. His FanDuel picture, he got uglier. And I didn't think that was possible. It's absolutely horrible. If you get a chance, go
worse.
Open up FanDuel.
Check
get a chance. Go to hockey. Yeah. He's a winger. I don't know his price, but find him. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Is he worse than the corpse? Yeah, Joaquin.
No one's worse than the corpse. One person's worse than the corpse, and that's Phil Jackson for bringing the corpse here.
What a topic of discussion. Joakim Noah was mentioned many times on this podcast.
Joakim Noah, Joakim Noah, Corpse Noah. Whatever you want to call him.
Oh, boy. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the Super Bowl on Sunday in any capacity, whether you're a fan of the team or you're a fan of football or you're a fan of just, enjoying friends and family and drinking and eating. It's a good time. It's always a good time. Whether you're betting too, playing FanDuel, guys, we can play FanDuel too, which is awesome. Finally.
Oh, how about that FanDuel bingo?
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, hold on. Before we go, I want to tell you my middle line. Okay.
Yeah.
It's right down the center with my free space.
Okay.
In the middle.
Okay.
Okay. Which they call the fourth quarter free square.
Right.
Okay. So this is from top to bottom. I have, and this could happen.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
Okay. So I got Philadelphia 3 punts.
Okay.
Okay. Under that, New England 5 tackles.
Okay.
I got my free square. And then I got New England 3 punts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Philadelphia 10 rushes. That's my middle line.
You know what?
Yeah, but the only thing, the fourth quarter, the free square in the middle starts at the fourth
I know. I got to
quarter.
wait for that, right?
Wait, I don't get that.
That's okay, but those
mean?
other things can happen by then.
Yeah, what does that fourth quarter mean?
So, you don't get the free space until the start of the fourth quarter.
Yes,
Wait,
I know that.
You have to go in order?
Well, I guess if he gets the other 4 and other people get bingos ahead of him.
Oh.
Well, what does your free square say, guys?
Mine says fourth quarter free square.
Okay, so everybody's is like that.
True.
But listen to I have a good one here. Listen to this. I have a diagonal through that free square. I have offensive holding. I have play action. Then I have the free square. Then I have Philadelphia tackle for loss. And then I have passing touchdown.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Yo, guys, I have 2 on mine.
Bingo.
And I want to know if you guys have them on yours. You ready?
Go.
In Sync reunion.
What was that? Say it again.
In Sync reunion.
Okay.
Wait, what is it?
Justin Timberlake and JC Chazez and Lance Bass.
Oh,
Chazez.
Really? You have that on there?
Yeah, In Sync reunion, and Giselle Bundchen is another one.
I got some weird shit. Like I have Bradley Cooper on mine.
I have sexy back.
I have Mike. I have sexy back too.
I want to get
I have
sexy back.
streaker. Anybody have streaker?
No.
No.
I got streaker. So if there's a streaker,
I have second half Manning ad. Like an advertisement. Manning. I guess it either Manning. Probably
So
Peyton.
Giselle Bundchen, I get that.
Yeah. Now, when you think you get all of them, do you have to hit that call bingo right away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, I got to be on this thing.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. I also have group touchdown dance, which is exciting.
Now,
That one.
do our spots light up if they get it, or we have to hit it?
I don't know.
I think they would probably light up. I mean, you can't cheat,
like automatically.
Right? You can't lie and just, or can you?
I kind of like this. This is cool.
This is cool.
I love it.
They should do this all the time, like every week. Just one more thing to go crazy about.
Guys, breaking news, by the way. Chiefs agree to trade Pro Bowl quarterback Alex Smith to the Redskins.
Wow.
Yeah, I just got that on the Sports Center app.
How about that?
What, a pick or something?
The deal cannot be completed until the new league year begins.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
Interesting.
Reported by Field Yates.
Wow. So where's Kirk Cousins going?
The Jets.
Kirky.
Where you going, Kirky? Someone will pay him.
Wow. Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, I know. A lot of stuff just happened, boys.
All right.
All right, we'll catch you soon.
All right. Well, after talking about that little FanDuel, it's nice to be able to do a little FanDuel stuff on the Super Bowl. I'm going to be watching, having some fun, enjoying myself, getting ready for some of these, playoffs and everything. Catch up with us, guys, on Twitter. Make sure we catch up at the Angry Hacks and all the social platforms. Of course, please download our content on iTunes. Give us a little rating too. Review us. Give us 5 stars because you want to. Super Bowl. Enjoy your weekend of sports, and we will be back hopefully next week, if not the week after, for some post Super Bowl podcasting. Goodbye, everybody.